I have to write this essay for Alyssa's class. It's about professional identity. And it's so difficult.
Well, I can help you, Ati. Let's start with a simple definition. What do you think professional identity is?
Well, I think it's how someone perceives and perceives themselves as a member of a journalistic profession.
Exactly. Identity is something very personal that you construct inside of you, but don't forget that there are external elements that are going to influence your identity. Can be your life experiences, where you are from, or the journalism school that you attend, your colleagues in the newsroom, and also the code of ethics that you have to follow. So, can we even choose what kind of journalists we are?
Well, I disagree. I was born in Iran, I was raised there, and there's state media and a huge umbrella of propaganda is covering everything. Yet, I learned to be objective, and a lot of other journalists do the same.
Okay, so if you're so different, Ati, have you ever wondered what your professional identity is?
Speaking about myself, we need to have a better understanding of professional identities. So, according to Thomas Hanch, a German journalistic scholar, which people love, I guess, journalistic identity is fueled by many different things, but most importantly by two elements: journalistic culture and journalistic rules. Journalistic culture is way journalists think and act, their ideas and practices by which they make their role in the society acceptable and give the meaning to their work. And on the other hand, we have journalistic roles. For example, somebody like me, journalists like me, they think that their jobs need to contribute to democracy, being a fourth state, and take politicians accountable, for example.
So basically, what you're saying about journalistic roles is something that traditional scholars said in the past. But today, other researchers, they really criticize, they say that there are no universal roles, there are not a universal culture of objectivity. Ati, for instance, do you think you can be objective when you report on what's happening in your country?
I have to be objective, even though it's difficult.
You really have an American professional identity, don't you?
Oh my god, let's agree to disagree. But do you want to explain more?
Well, Anish says that journalism culture is like an arena in which diverse professional ideologies struggle over the dominant interpretation of journalism's social function and identity. It basically means that professional identities are like a battlefield between Western and non-Western ways of being a journalist. That's very Marxist. For instance, Maestron and Jauge, they observe that journalists in Asia, they have a very different professional identity than in the West. They want to be a source of stability in society, and they want to be loyal to the government.
Well, Clement, my friend, be prepared to be wrong. Just because state media is doing propaganda in the country, it doesn't mean that every journalist shares the same identity there. Professional identity is not a matter of borders. It changes from one news organization to the other. And this all according to Hanich. And not every journalist wants to be serving the government. What about Niloufar Hamedi?
Where is she? I never heard of her.
Oh my God, she's the first journalist who reported the death of Mahsa Amini. And she's in jail now. She knew that by reporting this story, she's going to end up in prison. Yet she did it. Oh, take a look at this video. This is a video made by state media about the ongoing protests. You see how it is? And this is another one covering the same protest by a citizen journalist. You see how different the videos are? Who do you think is the real journalist now?
Well, the citizen does not look like a journalist according to a Western perspective on professional identities because they are involved in the civil movement. And Dunbar and Patterson, they draw a very clear line between advocates on one side and passive, neutral observers on the other side. Yet, the people we see in the video like they really do what a journalist should do, which is reporting accurately on the protests in Iran. And this, like citizen journalism, it's an example of what Anish calls a counter-hegemonic articulation and practice of journalism. It really calls into question who we are in society and what must be our professional identity.
Well, true. So we can agree that professional identity is like a scale. On one side, there's your personal choices that you make as a journalist, and on the other side, there are things that you cannot control.
Well, exactly, and I think our discussion is going to be a great foundation for your essay, but I think that we are running late to Alice's class.
But before we go, can we finish this Persian class?
Of course, it's Serbia, I can't resist.